Good evening. There you go. Good to see you guys. Welcome to our 2023 Annual Parent Conference. I would just like to say before we begin, I know some of you are fanning in this very warm room. We actually did start the air conditioning about 24 hours earlier. So we have 105 out, we have an old building, so just keep fanning, it's okay. But know that with the lights dim, hopefully it will cool off for you guys. My name is Kristen Manschreck, and I serve as Chief of Staff here at the Academy. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I know it's a very busy time of year, and I know that you could be doing plenty of things right now, so thank you for being here. I'm glad you made the choice to attend. You are in for a treat. Before we begin, I'd like to open with a word of prayer. If you would pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time together this evening. Thank you for the safety you provided for everyone in attendance tonight. Thank you for this upcoming school year. Thank you for the Academy. Thank you for our teachers, staff, our parents, and our students. We pray for protection over each of them. We pray you would give us strength and grace as we seek to honor you together. We thank you for your provision of our school. Please be with us this evening. May we be encouraged, and may you be glorified in all things that we say and do. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. I'd like to take a minute to explain our typical parent conference agenda, especially for those of you who are new. First, we welcome you to the Academy. Second, we're going a little rogue on the way we've decided to present our topics this year. So hopefully you leave feeling informed and encouraged. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. Also, enjoy the change of pace tonight. I think it's going to be entertaining, and hopefully you too leave feeling, thank you. Was somebody giving an applaud? Thank you. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hopefully you leave feeling encouraged tonight as well. Okay, so what is the purpose of Parent Conference? To comment on our excitement for the upcoming school year. We are excited. To remind everyone of our commitment to our mission and vision, our teachers, our parents, and our students. To hear from a variety of staff, including various departments such as fine arts, athletics, culture, and events. To inform you of current initiatives for the upcoming school year. To inspire you to leave with a renewed sense of why we have chosen to partner together in this journey called education. By the way, this is a side note, not on my script. Somebody told me earlier that Parent Conference is like one big parent pep rally, and I'm telling you guys, that made my entire day. I really love a good pep rally. Okay, all of what I just mentioned will happen. It's just going to happen in a different way tonight. So you might be asking yourself, what is happening and why the change? I'm glad you asked. There's something very special about this year. This year marks, wait for it, who knows? Brilliant audience, 10 years. This year marks 10 years at the Academy of Classical Christian Studies. Thanks be to God. Can we give a round of applause for that? Truly, by God's grace, it has been 10 years. Some of you have been around for the entirety of this 10 years, and some of you even longer than that. So what does a 10-year celebration mean? It likely means something unique to each of us as individuals, but let's think about this together. Collectively celebrating 10 years means we recognize God's faithfulness, God's provision, his goodness. We recognize the growth of the school. We recognize our gratitude for the community, you all, and our culture. It's very special. Another side note, I was talking to somebody earlier, and this parent actually is a new parent, and this parent said to me, somebody was telling me that you've joined your people, and I'm not quite sure what your people mean. And I just got this grin, and it made me actually very excited because I thought, you're going to learn really quickly what your people mean. It's a collective unity of people, such as you all, who are unified for one very distinct mission, and it's really special. So, there's a short list that I've just given you and simply a starting point to what you'll be hearing more about as the year goes on. This is actually a really big deal to us, celebrating 10 years. So much so that we're dedicating this theme to the entire school year. On that note, my quick pitch. Mark your calendar for our 10-year anniversary gala on Thursday, November the 9th. This year, in place of our Academy auction, we ask you to join us for an evening of dinner and celebration. It will be a night of joy as we reflect on where the Academy has been, what we've learned over the last 10 years, and how we can best steward the next 10 years to come. It'll be an event that's the first of our kind. We've never done anything like this. It's going to be a really, really special night, and we want you to be there. Thursday, November 9th. Put it on your calendar. Now, as we prepare to launch our program, one more brief word. I attended an event this past spring hosted by our very own debate and forensics students, as well as our beloved debate and forensics teacher, Jennifer Stahl. I was inspired by the event. I can't yell. Hello. Oh, we're back. I was inspired by this event, and it prompted an idea. Our students are really smart, and our beloved staff and faculty, they're quite sharp and witty. So what if Parent Conference is presented in a brand new way, such that as we kick off our 10-year celebration together, we have a little fun? So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
All rise. The Court of Unhurried Judicial Wonder, now in session. The Honorable Pedagogical Judge, Joshua Spears, presiding.
Hey, guys, it's so good. How are the kids? It's so good to see you. Welcome to my court. Are you guys comfortable? Do you need anything? Coffee? Juice? No, you guys are good? Okay, very good. That'll be enough music. This court is in session. This is a serious matter. We will now hear both sides of this hearing between modern education and classical education. Counselors, are you prepared to make your opening statements?
We are prepared, Your Honor.
We are prepared.
Prosecution, you may go first. Let me remind you, keep it clean. Mr. Dodson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Make sure I like it. Mr. Dodson?
I'll try to, Your Honor.
Whatever.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's hear it. You may be seated.
Good evening, members of the jury. My name is Miles Modern Man, and I, along with my co-counsel, contemporary Courtney, and Modern Man Mike, proudly represent the plaintiff in the instant case, Modern Education. Tonight's trial is an important one decades in the making. The question before you tonight is whether classical education has a place in our modern school system. And we anticipate that by the end of tonight's trial, you'll come to see that the answer to that question is no. So, as you hear tonight's trial, I want you to be on the lookout for 3 key points that we're going to prove to you. First, we're going to prove to you that classical education is simply not a sustainable education model, that it lacks the longevity needed to survive beyond the ancient world. And because of this, it belongs in the past. Furthermore, we're going to prove to you that interest in the classical model is waning, and that the number of students and parents actively interested in classical education is at an all-time low. Second, we're going to prove to you how classical education fails to prepare your student for the workforce in 2023. Its rejection of state-endorsed standardized methods of learning fails to equip students for life beyond the classical bubble. Its insistence upon having students burrow their heads in the sands of the past inevitably graduates students who are unequipped and ill-prepared for modern colleges and contemporary universities. And thirdly, we're going to prove to you that classical education is, for lack of a better term, boring. It's dull. No one wants to learn Latin. No one wants to annotate. To expect a modern-day student to do so is developmentally inappropriate and cruel. And so it is for these reasons that at the end of this trial, my co-counsel is going to stand up here and ask you, members of the jury, to return a verdict in favor of modern education and in opposition of the classical model. Thank you.
I will have order in my courtroom. There will be no cheering of that. Have you all seen these? I was not listening. This is really good. Have you seen these? Have you seen these supplements? Y'all, this is good. Make sure you pick these up. I've enjoyed that. So you're done prattling on. Defense, please, eloquently. Let us hear it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, listen, you're welcome.
Good evening, members of the jury. My name is Classical Caleb, and I, along with my co-counsel, Platonic Patricia, Aristotelian Adam, and Socratic Samuel, are proud to represent classical education in tonight's trial. My opposing counsel was correct when he stated that the issue before you tonight is whether classical education has a place in our modern system of education. But we anticipate that by the end of this trial, you're going to see that the answer to that question is actually a resounding yes, and that in fact, there's never been a better time to embrace the classical model and all that it entails. So in response to our opposing counsel's three main points, I'll instead offer you what we anticipate the evidence will show you throughout tonight's trial. First, we're going to show you that classical education is a sustainable educational system. In fact, interest in the classical model is at an all-time high, and the number of parents actively interested in pursuing classical education for their children has never been greater. In fact, it is so high that the demand currently exceeds the supply. Second, we're going to show you that classical education is not primarily concerned with preparing students for the workforce in 2023. Rather, classical education would prefer to teach students how to think well, how to learn well, how to live well, and how to love well. And we are confident that you will come to agree with us that not only are those aspirations far more worthy than merely preparing students for a specific trade or college entry-level exam, but you'll also agree with us that graduates of the classical model are more holistically prepared in their hearts, minds, and souls for life after high school than they would otherwise be with a modern system of education. And finally, we're going to show you that classical education is, for lack of a better term, just plain fun. It's not boring or dull. Its emphasis on Latin and annotation are not cruel, though they may be unusual. And finally, members of the jury, you're going to see that students of the classical model are guaranteed a rich quality of life full of unhurried wonder and intentionally shaped affections. And so that is why, at the end of this trial, my co-counsel is going to stand up here and ask you, members of the jury, to return a verdict in favor of classical education. Thank you.
Now that, Mr. Dotson, take note, that is how you're doing an opening argument.
That's unnecessary, Your Honor.
Prosecution, do Do you have witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd like to
Great,
call...
so no witnesses. Defense, you may go ahead and begin your
Your Honor,
first.
we have a,
Yeah.
we have a case in chief. We have
No, we're good.
witnesses.
No, we're good. I think we can go ahead and move on. Aristotelian Adam, would you please call your first witness? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense
welcome.
calls the Academy of Classical Christian Studies Assistant Headmaster Stephen Taylor to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I do.
Good evening, Assistant Headmaster, members of the jury. My name is Aristotelian Adam, and I will be conducting your direct examination today. Assistant Headmaster, can you tell us a little bit about your role at the Academy?
I oversee business and operations here at the Academy.
Can you describe for the jury what your day-to-day role looks like?
Well, let's see. From sending out detailed emails about car line and busing procedures to working with the finance team to decipher the legislative impacts of newly available tax credits, somehow I find myself doing a little bit of everything.
Mr. Taylor, I'd like to talk about the school's history for a moment. 10 years ago, how many people did the Academy employ?
Approximately 96.
And how many employees does the school currently have?
Exactly 187.
And 10 years ago, how many students attended the Academy?
486.
And Mr. Taylor, how many students are enrolled for the 23-24 school year?
970, so let's just call that 1,000.
Mr. Taylor, it seems to me that the claim that interest in the classical model is waning just isn't true, is it?
Objection, Your Honor. That's a leading question.
Oh, did you get a word of the calendar, word of the day calendar, counselor, did you? I'm not sure you know what that means. I'm not sure you're using that correctly. We're going to go ahead and keep going with that. Google it real quick.
Your Honor,
Try again in a minute.
that's a leading question.
Google it, and we'll try again here in a minute. Defense, you may continue.
Assistant Headmaster, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I think I can go on. See, the numbers speak for themselves. This year alone, we've seen an overall 14% increase in enrollment, including 2 brand new pre-K sections, one at North and one at South for our youngest students, plus additional sections in 6th, 7th, and 12th grades to serve our returning students. And that's not even to mention an entirely new pilot program to serve the needs of neurodiverse children.
Mr. Taylor, I'd like to move on. You said earlier that you are in charge of the district's finances.
Yes, that's correct.
Over the past 10 years, how many donations have been made to the Academy?
Over $14 million.
And how many grants has the school received?
Around $5 million.
So it seems to me, Mr. Taylor, that the claim that the classical model isn't a sustainable one just isn't true either, is it?
Objection, Your Honor. That's another leading question.
What is your point? What?
That's not allowed. It's a leading question.
Listen, it's going so well. Are you listening to this? Just give it a minute. Just hang on. Give it a minute. Proceed.
Thank you, Your
Counselor.
Honor.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Assistant Headmaster?
Look, an academy education has never been more sustainable. The faithful generosity of our community has gotten us to where we are today, and we could not be more grateful. In fact, this year alone, we are able to provide parents with over $1 million of tuition assistance.
Mr. Taylor, I'd like to finally talk about renovation. Over the past 10 years, how many expansion and renovation projects has the school undergone?
So many.
How many new and improved facilities do we all share?
In the past several years, we've completed 4 construction and renovation projects, with a 5th expected to finish in October, and that will bring our facility footprint up to around 85,000 square feet.
In looking forward to the future, what's on the horizon construction-wise?
Before we know it, we'll be adding even more space to Midtown as we prepare for Midtown to double in size over the next 4 to 6 years.
Mr. Taylor, what justifies this massive expansion?
It's simple, really. The demand for an academy education exceeds our ability to supply it.
Mr. Taylor, finally, it seems to me as if the claim that the number of parents actively pursuing a classical education for their child is declining just is not true, is it?
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're exactly right. This year we had our highest retention ever, coupled with record-breaking admission season numbers, a 45% increase in applications over last year.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Defense, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, cross-examination.
Make it quick.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Miles Modern Man, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions, Mr. Taylor. Is it correct that the Academy has 3 campuses?
Yes, it does.
And enrollment numbers at these 3 campuses are wildly different, aren't they?
Can you clarify what you mean by wildly different?
What I mean is, while some campuses may be bursting at the seams, others may not. Is that correct?
Actually, all 3 of our campuses are experiencing unprecedented growth.
Is that so?
It is indeed.
Well, as I understand it, Mr. Taylor, it's been a need for recent construction at North Campus and similar expansion at Midtown Campus, but no such growth at South Campus. Are you sure that this growth isn't a direct response to lack of alternative education options in North and Midtown?
Look, it's true that North Campus has our largest overall enrollment with over 600 students this year. And it's true that Midtown's enrollment has doubled over the past 3 years. But frankly, as strong as these numbers are, let's look at South Campus, where in just 1 year, we have seen a 19% growth in our student body.
All right, very well.
Clearly, they
Let's
have
move on.
Mr. Counselor, South Campus sounds like they have a really great leader. Now, is that?
Oh, all right, let's move on to athletics. You would agree that athletics are core to any school. Is that correct?
Of course.
And you would agree that a well-developed school should have a robust athletics department. Would you not?
Absolutely.
Mr. Taylor, how can you expect to believe that a school whose heroes are Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates would have anything to offer in the athletic department?
Your Honor, at this time, defense would like to enter into evidence what has been previously marked as Exhibit 1.
I love it. Let's do it.
No, Your Honor, they can't do this. I'm in the middle of a cross-examination.
It's not. It's not going well. Let's be honest.
Your Honor.
No, I'm trying to help you, bro. So let's go ahead. Why don't you write some more? I don't know. Take some more better notes or something. I don't know. You can. It'll be fine. Yes, Counselor. Let's see it, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a digital exhibit in the form of video.
The athletic department has grown so much in the past 10 years. What started as a few runners competing at cross-country and track meets way back in 2013 grew to starting dialectic and then rhetoric basketball teams, then a volleyball team, to now having 4 cross-country teams, 5 volleyball teams, 10 basketball teams, 2 tennis teams, 2 golf teams, and a growing baseball program at the dialectic and rhetoric levels alone. Our coaching staff grew from 2 in 2013 to more than 25 for this year. Numbers have grown exponentially, but so has the depth of talent, discipline, commitment, and heart in our athletes and staff. As a department, we are continually looking for ways to improve in all aspects of athletics. 60% of our dialectic and rhetoric students, that's more than 215 students, plan to participate in athletics at the Academy this year. We currently offer cross-country, volleyball, and basketball at the grammar level. Our dialectic students have cross-country, volleyball, basketball, tennis, and baseball. And at the rhetoric level, we have cross-country, volleyball, basketball, tennis, baseball, and golf. In the past several years, our teams have found success on many levels and in multiple sports. Our girls cross-country team won back-to-back state titles in 2020 and 2021, And then last season, both varsity teams and junior high boys were state runner-up. In 2021, our Dialectic boys basketball team won the HCAA title. We also had more than 10 Rhetoric student athletes earning all-state honors last year alone.
We have a beautiful 24,000 square foot district gym to host all Rhetoric athletic events. The district gym also serves the Dialectic students in home athletic events as well as 4 additional classrooms. The 900 capacity seating competition gym creates an incredible environment where our parents and student body can comfortably cheer on our students. We look forward to having the ability to host tournaments and/or postseason matches and games in the future. There are so many exciting things happening here. Joining the OSSAA gives us a platform to compete in other sports and activities our previous association did not offer. We are always welcoming the conversation of adding sports and expanding our athletic department at a successful speed. We have an incredible coaching staff across the board, coaches who do not only love their respective sport, but deeply love and care for their students in their walk with the Lord. We also have an incredible athletic committee that meets once a month to talk through each sport and what we can add, bring, or change to the future of each program. We have had many conversations for adding a wider variety of sports in the coming years. Before adding a sport, we try to send an intent to participate form out to parents, engage the interest in numbers before adding a pilot year or starting it as a club. Currently, we have baseball as our only club sport at the Dialectic level. We know everyone is excited about adding a new sport, but we want to add them with intentionality and geared for success. This athletic department is just touching the surface, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds.
Athletics are an important part of our classical framework. For the ancient Greeks, education was not simply a matter of filling minds with information. It included the body as well as the mind. Transforming bodies was key to transforming minds, which is why physical activity was so crucial to education. The ancients did not make a sharp distinction between the two. They believed sport was fundamental to making people better, to human excellence, or arete. Virtue and victory were not mutually exclusive, but instead intimately connected. The pursuit of victory in our current day athletics is still worthwhile only when there is virtue in victory. Classical Athens placed emphasis on physical and mental excellence and character development through virtue, which continue to be relevant today. At the Academy, we strive to educate the body, not only the mind, and to do so in a way that glorifies Christ.
We are excited to share the acceptance and membership into OSSAA. With many benefits and changes, this transition will present great opportunities in competition, community, performances, and increased intensity in our programs. With this increased platform, we can display the love of Christ through competition in a consistent practice that not only displays our philosophy of athletics, but a walking display of the true, good, and beautiful. OSSAA membership will increase the level of competition along with the enrichment of our school community that is ever so important to our student athletes. I am thrilled to see the growth in our programs, student athletes, student body, and coaches. We currently have as many Dialectic student athletes as the total number of students at the Rhetoric level, and even more in the grammar grades. We anticipate the number of student athletes to double or even triple within the next 3 years. The excitement for sports and summer camps are at an all-time high, and we are ready to see the future of the athletic department flourish through our upcoming student athletes.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to call the Director of Debate and Forensics, Jennifer Stahl, to the stand.
You may proceed. I can't wait. That was amazing. That was a great video. Good evidence. Man.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give will be rooted in the true, the good, and the beautiful?
I do. Good evening, Mrs. Stahl. What is your position at the Academy?
I am the director of the Academy's Debate and Forensics Department.
And what does this position entail?
So as the director of the Debate and Forensics Department, I teach debate at North, South, and Midtown campus. I teach the forensics course at Midtown campus, and I coach the debate and forensics competitions outside of class.
And has your program grown over the past 10 years?
You could say that.
How so?
Well, as I understand it, 10 years ago, there was no official debate course offered in the electives menu. It was offered at the rhetoric level only, and it consisted of 4 rhetoric students who would meet after school as a debate club.
And the program has grown since then?
You could say that.
Where is this program now?
Well, now we have debate as an official electives course on the menu for North, South, and Midtown. We have a forensics course at Midtown, which consists of a focus on mock trial. And from 6th to 12th grade district-wide, we have just under 100 students enrolled in the program.
And what awards has this program garnered, if any, over the past 10 years?
Like, you want me to list them all?
If you would.
Respectfully, I don't believe we have enough time in the trial for me to do that.
Fair enough. What is the best aspect of your job?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Dude, I am listening. You are rudely interrupting. Please, learn who are your parents? Witness, I'm sorry. That's just unacceptable. Please try again.
I often like to say that the best part of my job is the unique vantage point that it offers me.
And could you explain this vantage point?
Sure. Because this position entails competing against schools from all over the country, I get a front row seat to see how the classical model holds up on a public stage against schools from other educational models.
And could you explain to the jury the difference between the Academy students and students of other educational models?
Yeah, in the competitive setting, it's abundantly clear that our Academy students learn better and think better than their non-classical counterparts.
And how can you be so certain of this?
Well, not only is it common for us to win tournaments, but it is not uncommon for us to sweep tournaments first through fifth place. It is similarly not uncommon for judges or opponents to approach our Academy kids after the round has ended and say something to the effect of, "Where did you people come from?" And overall, judges, opponents, other coaches, they just respond to our students very differently than they respond to opponents from other schools.
I see. And would you say that Academy graduates who go through your program are fit for the real world?
Absolutely.
How can you be certain of this?
I could give you examples if you'd like.
Please.
So one example that comes to mind is a graduate named Jackson High. He graduated in the after-school debate club era, but nevertheless, he graduated from the debate and forensics program, and he attended college. He received his bachelor's degree. He then aced his LSAT and went to University of Texas Law School. He finished at the top of his class, received, I want to say, 8 job offers, and has accepted a job offer at a top firm in Los Angeles.
And do you have any other examples to this effect?
Oh my gosh. Your Honor, this is wasting the jury's time.
You're wasting the jury's time with your inane, absurd objections. Sit down.
Fine, Your Honor.
Apologies again. Witness, proceed.
One recent graduate comes to mind as well, AJ Jackson. He graduated from the Academy's Debate and Forensics Department, went to Gonzaga, competed at their collegiate debate team. Another more recent graduate, Jack Miller, was nationally renowned in the high school debate scene. He received several recruitment offers from top universities around the U.S., ended up accepting a full ride to Rice University, where he will compete on their debate team and pursue a career in bioethics. Another recent graduate, Kate Chang, finished 7 years in this department and won multiple awards, nationally renowned. She accepted a scholarship to Claremont McKenna, where she will compete on their mock trial team and pursue a career in law. So overall, I would say I am very confident in asserting that they are well prepared for the real world that awaits them.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Well done.
Permission to proceed with cross-examination, Your Honor?
Yes, I would love to see that. I think it's going to go really well. You should go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Good evening, Miss.
Whenever you want to start, go ahead.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Good evening.
Anytime. Proceed.
Good evening, Mrs. Stahl. You just told this jury that you have about 100 students in your department. Is that correct?
Approximately.
And what percentage is that of the overall student body?
Well, as Mr. Taylor just testified, the Academy student body district-wide is represented by just under 1,000 students. I have just under 100 in my department, so I would say roughly 10%.
Okay, so let's concede that 10% of Academy students graduate with this holistic type of education. But that's only 10%. What about the under 90% who don't graduate with this holistic education?
I would not agree with the argument that they don't graduate with a holistic education.
But that's basic math, right?
I agree with the mathematical calculation insofar as the numbers are concerned, but what I take issue with is the underlying premise that just because a certain student does not matriculate through my department, that they are somehow less prepared.
No further questions.
Correct?
Oh, it doesn't have to be brief. Take your time. I would love to hear it. You're doing such a great job. Yeah. I love it.
Mrs. Stahl, can you give the qualifications of an Academy graduate who does not matriculate through your program?
Sure. Their qualifications will look differently from the students who do graduate from my program in that they will have less public speaking experience and they may be less argumentatively trained, but they will nevertheless graduate with a holistic education that has fully prepared them for the world that awaits them.
And can you give some examples of how other Academy programs are accomplishing this?
Yeah, I think the Fine Arts Department is a perfect example.
How so?
Well, whereas my department is elective in nature, the Fine Arts Department, with its courses like art, choir, music, these courses will inevitably touch the life of a K through 12 Academy student at some point or another in their Academy career. Which is to say, this is important because these courses have a natural overlap with other curricular subject areas like Latin, math, literature, history, or even science, thereby further proving the claim that an Academy student, regardless of the program that they specialize in, will graduate holistically prepared to love what is true, good, and beautiful in their hearts, minds, and souls.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to enter into evidence Exhibit 2.
No. We are in the middle of a recross. This is not allowed, Your Honor.
This is, listen, I think a video being introduced right now is a really good idea. Would you not agree with that?
Your Honor, that's not allowed.
I think it's a really good idea. I want to hear it. I want to see it. Proceed.
Thank you.
Our Fine Arts Department at the Academy is growing in truth, goodness, and beauty year by year. In each fine art discipline, we see the classical Christian curriculum come to life and expressed in unique ways. Our talented students are constantly amazing us as they correlate what they are learning in our classrooms with every other subject area. The fine arts is a place where truth grounds us, goodness guides us, and beauty compels us to create, express, and experience music, visual art, and theater as image bearers of God.
Our goal as visual arts teachers at the Academy is to give our students the same tools that guided some of the most accomplished artists in human history. Teaching art using classical techniques means guiding our students to see and observe the world around them, and then to take part on the sacred act of creation. Our students gain confidence and learn that creativity is not something given to a precious few, but something hidden in the heart of all people. This year, we will be offering 3 art electives at the Rhetoric School, beginning with a concentration on the basics of classical drawing, lessons on shape and form, shading, and sketching techniques, as well as the rules of perspective. My teaching emphasizes how to look and truly see what is there, and then training the hand to draw what the eye sees. With my advanced students, we build on these basic skills and broaden the materials used in advanced projects such as drawing or painting, landscape, and design. I'm excited to add a new class this year encompassing color theory and 3D work. Students in every art class will do a self-portrait, which is a mainstay of the Academy from pre-K on. I guarantee that students with an open heart will find immense joy in the act of creating beautiful, true works of art. After all, God is the ultimate artist. And as we create, we can get a tiny inkling of how he must have felt making all these wonderful things and then standing back and saying, yes, that is good.
All we want is to see each other again and be happy. And I believe that this is possible with the help of God. But until then, we must keep on, and still keep on.
At the Academy, most of the shows we choose are closely connected to the stories the students are studying in their classes. Just in the last 3 years, we have produced Jane Eyre, Comedy of Errors, Antigone, and so many more. We have also produced plays that have brought history alive for the actors and the audience. The first thing I think about are the debriefing questions I have my students answer after every production we do. What is the prominent virtue you see in the show? How does your character or the role you fulfilled point to God? Where do you see the good, the true, and the beautiful? Students are asked to answer these questions on their own, and then we share our answers in a discussion together as a class. When we do this, you can't help but feel the joy and pride swell in the room. Theater students work as a team to put on a show successfully, which always leads to learning even greater lessons such as patience, collaboration, and humility. These are life lessons that the students will use both on and off the stage for the rest of their lives. But one thing is true of every show we dive into. They all show us our deep and innate need for God.
For the Academy, music is essential. It is a core component of the liberal arts education quadrivium. From matins to lunch, and then evensong, students are singing centuries-old liturgies and hymns. One of our goals as a singing school is for students to become musically literate, being able to read sheet music fluently. At the grammar level, students are immersed in sequential music literacy education, leading to the dialectic level of deciphering and applying that knowledge in choir, and then culminating in the skill and creative expression in rhetoric choir. Students experience the beauty of making music in multiple settings throughout the school year, and each year we wrap up our academic year with Schola Cantorum, which is Latin for the singing school, where dialectic and rhetoric choirs present their year's musical efforts to the community. As you can see, the fine arts are an integral part of our classical Christian education here at the Academy. Each creative expression brings the true, the good, and the beautiful to life for our students, faculty, and school community.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
The defense calls foreign language chair. Give it up for Ann Bradford.
Will you please raise your right hand? Will your testimony that you are about to provide be sufficiently infuriating to those who oppose classical education? Specifically, Miles, every modern man, will it?
Absolutely.
Good evening, Miss Bradford. My name is Socratic Sam, and I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions tonight. So first, could you describe to everyone your role at the Academy?
Of course, I would love to. I am the foreign language chair at the Academy, but who else knows what that might include in the future? I love how our school is growing, and as it grows, I anticipate our foreign language department growing right along with it. This is my 10th year at the Academy, and
Your Honor, this testimony is becoming quite narrative.
Isn't it great? It's so good.
No.
It's like bussin', yo.
No.
No, listen, it's really good. Check it out. Seriously, for real. Proceed, counselor.
as I was saying, this is my 10th year at the Academy, and I love it so much. The joy that is so evident in our school keeps me coming back year after year. We truly are a festive school.
And would you say that the Latin department is an integral part of this festive nature that comes from the Academy?
Your Honor, is it even worth objecting to that leading question?
Nope. Proceed.
This guy, am I right? Would you like me to ask the question again?
I've got it. Thanks, though. Absolutely. I think that Latin, more than any other subject, is a unifier in classical education. For instance, in science, our students memorize the periodic table. But before they even see the periodic table, they've already learned the word aurum auri, the Latin word for gold, so that when they see that AU symbol on the periodic table, they already know that it's gold. And, in second grade, we learn Roman and Greek culture. And we just saw that fine arts video. We sing in Latin, we sing in the choir, and we sing in our liturgies. We learn Roman culture in omnibus. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting in class telling my students something, and they say, "Oh, Mrs. Bradford, we already know that from Mrs. Kahn." And it's so amazing, Mr. Smothers and I, we can't believe how many times our curricula intersect at the same moment. And don't even get me started on Kurtamen.
Actually, I kind of do want to get started on Kurtamen. Could you tell this amazing jury about it?
I would love to. Kurtamen is the Latin word for contest, and our students love to compete in Kurtamen. Now, you might not know what it is, so let me just give you a little bit of background. Each one of our campuses has a buzzer system, okay? And so when we're getting ready to play Kurtamen, every student gets put on a team, and we like to put our students on teams so they don't feel a lot of pressure if they don't know all the answers, and we give them a buzzer. Ooh, just think about getting a buzzer to buzz in. And then we either review old material or we even introduce new material with this really fun buzzer system. It's so much fun. Even in October, all students from all 3 campuses gather here at Midtown, and we have a big Kurtamen tournament. It is so much fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun. Honestly, that sounds like a great tradition. Over the 10 years that we've had Latin, have there been any other great traditions that came along with it?
Well, this is really interesting. I've seen so much growth in our Latin department. So many times I've had 9th grade parents say to me, "Why does Latin end in 9th grade?" And they're so disappointed. They want their kids to keep taking Latin. The kids want to keep taking Latin. Well, I'm happy to say that we have a plan forward to continue offering Latin to 10th grade, 11th grade. Who knows where it's going to go? And I know we're talking about Latin tonight, but let me just tell you about our Spanish department, because we have an amazing Spanish department. These teachers are so good, I want to take Spanish from them.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bradford. No further questions, Your Honor.
Well done.
Cross-examination, Your Honor. Your Honor, cross-examination.
Oh, sorry. Have you been keeping up with the Pac-12 dissolving? I was just checking the... No?
No.
You... Fine, whatever.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Miss Bradford. Quick question. Do you expect this jury to believe that Latin is fun?
Honestly, we try and make Latin fun from start to finish. We intentionally changed our 3rd grade curriculum in order to make it a really fun introduction to Latin for the students. We have now taken this program, and so all the books that their parents have been reading to them, and they are so familiar with, they might even have memorized, now we introduce them in Latin. And we also do that with nursery rhymes and fun songs. Mm-hmm. It is a really fun program.
I'm sure.
Counselor, you will not take that tone with Mrs. Bradford. She is a beloved member of this community, and you will watch it, pal.
So it's honestly just the younger students who enjoy Latin. Is that correct?
No, Did you not hear what I had to say about Kurtaman?
Did you not hear what she said about Kataman?
But honestly, Mr. Mr. Modern Man, we continue making Latin fun as the students move up in grades. We introduce fun games in Latin. We read Latin novellas.
All right. Let's just concede that.
Your Honor, I think we're all done here. Could you just have him sit down?
No, Your Honor.
That's
I'll
a
continue.
great idea,
I'll
actually.
continue.
Sustained.
Thank you.
I'm going to continue, Your Honor. I'm going to continue.
You're going to what?
Continue with the cross-examination?
Just hurry up.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, sure, let's concede that you personally possess the ability to make Latin fun, but not everyone has you for Latin. Is that correct?
Oh, let me tell you, I get to walk into all the Latin classrooms for observations, and I see joy everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There is joy all over the academy. It's just part of our culture.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd like to enter Exhibit 3 into evidence.
Objection, Your Honor. I'm again in the middle of a cross-examination. They can't just hijack it.
No, they're not hijacking. I'm allowing it. So let's go ahead. Is it a video? Please tell me it's a video. Tell me it's a video. I want to see another
Your
video.
Honor, please, no.
Yes, Your Honor. It
No.
will just show how fun this school is. And furthermore, it will demonstrate how amazing the Culture and Events Department at the school is.
Roll it.
The Culture and Events Department affectionately refers to itself as the Party Planning Committee. We are here for all things celebratory and relational at the school. We love to spend our time nurturing community at the Academy through events.
Culture and events has always been an important part of life of the Academy. We're a festive school, and we care deeply about how we spend our time and orient our affections. When the Academy first started, there was an intentional decision to put the liturgies of the church at the center of what we do, including invitations to feast. We've seen our feasting table grow from just over 300 students our first year to over 900 district-wide this year. The CNE team loves to gather with our growing community and work to make events and places in our school for the governing effects of joy to take root.
The Culture and Events team hosts a variety of activities throughout the year on each campus as well as at the district level that are aimed at supporting our faculty, students, and families. We have house feasts, Holy Day feasts, and culture building events sprinkled throughout each month. All of these events are supported by parent volunteers and are a great way for families to get involved. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is there an entire department devoted to parties at a classical school? That's a fair question.
A classical education concerns itself with loving what endures. At the Academy, our mission is to assist parents in shaping students' affections for truth, goodness, and beauty, for the benefit of man and the glory of Jesus Christ. We place these transcendents at the center of our community and orient our activities around them. The Culture and Events Department works to complement and support classroom learning with how we observe time, how we celebrate and feast, and how we relate to one another. We want to offer a vision of community to our students and families that is overflowing in joy and is rooted in truth, goodness, and beauty.
It's true that at the Academy we love timelines of the world, ancient books, and dead languages. But we also love to have a good time. And as a classical school, we're not swayed by popular opinion, and we know that looking to things that last helps to direct our future. Our fun is rooted in joy. The Culture and Events team is on each campus to support teachers, connect with students, and spearhead our special celebrations.
On our campuses, we see joy in the smiling faces of new students being welcomed into their houses at sorting. Everyone playing and having fun with students of different ages at house competitions, and the fellowship at house meetings and lunches.
Our community is more successful in its mission of shaping affections when we give our students opportunities and time to remember and celebrate the goodness and truth in what they've been learning. Our classroom, house, and school celebrations offer a unique vision of festivity, full of joy and abounding in fun and friendship.
In the daily life of campus, the Culture and Events team is busy about the details of coordinating bake sales, spirit days, and other activities that are out of the normal classroom routine. Students love traditions and celebrations, and so do we.
We make time to visit and hear from students and teachers as we plan community building events. And we look for opportunities to support and bless our teachers.
My favorite part of each day is lunchtime, when I can be found sitting with students and teachers and hearing all about their lives. I get caught up on birthday party plans, school party and t-shirt ideas, and hear about the most amazing projects and books these kids are tackling. Your kids are incredible, and it is a joy to know them.
Some of the most anticipated events at the Academy are the feasts. At each campus, we celebrate a school-wide Christmas and Resurrection feast, as well as a special feast for each house. Our grammar and dialectic students enjoy annual events like Donuts with Dad and Mornings with Mom, and monthly bake sales, a school favorite.
Our North and South dialectic students enjoy gathering every year at Night to Unite and the Dialectic Dance, events that are aimed at camaraderie across the district.
This year at the Rhetoric campus, we are introducing the Midtown Activities Committee, where students will get the opportunity to be a larger part of the planning of our Spirit Days, culture building events, and even our spring formal.
Each year, we look forward to planning a larger community-wide event. Mark your calendars for November 9th when we'll come together for the Academy 10th Anniversary Gala. We are so excited to celebrate the wonderful blessings we've shared in this community. This night promises to be filled with good food and music, special speakers, and memories of these last 10 years. You do not want to miss this special night.
Looking forward to the next 10 years, the Culture and Events team is excited to create more ways for parents to fellowship and support one another, reinforce the incredible work that happens in the classroom by loving and supporting our teachers, and new ways to reach out in service to the communities we live in.
Culture and Events offers a wonderful avenue for the school to partner with parents. We rely on parent involvement for each of our special events. These events are one of the best opportunities for parents to connect with other parents and to get a front seat to all that makes the Academy so special. We have volunteer opportunities that fit every schedule. So sign up, come say hi, and maybe plan to join us for lunch. We love to have our parents on campus joining in the festive and joyful atmosphere.
Stand. We were in the middle of a cross-examination.
Yeah, you were done. Defense, do you have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor. The defense rests its case in chief with great thanks to Your Honor for hearing our case.
Your Honor, is there even any point in asking for closing arguments?
I think you know the answer to that question.
Thank
No.
you, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you prepared to render your verdict? How do you find? Do you find, as you should, in favor of classical education? Having rendered your verdict, I hereby call this case closed. Court is now out of session. Bailiff, where are you, bailiff? Let's get him risen. All rise. Come on, bailiff. We've been over this.
All rise.
Thank you.
Test. Give it up for the teams. Students. So proud. You're on. Dude, I might tell a story about us tonight, Your Honor. Hey, welcome all to the best and brightest event in OKC tonight. My name is Father Frank Friendly Faithman. Dude, I had to make something up. I'm head cheerleader of all things Academy. Tonight is a celebration. Special thanks to our extensive admin team for making tonight possible in every way. And all glory be to God for people who have given lifetimes to it. So, I want to give a special thanks tonight before I say a few words, before I forget to say each and every name. Kristen and Jen, what a great idea. Thank you to both of you. Well planned and well done. Give it up. To our witnesses, all the best. To those running light and sound, Eric in particular, thank you. Hillary, Sadie helped today. The teams are everywhere, so God bless all of you, all of you, all of you. And I hope, okay. I hope that you had fun. So here we go. I want to say a few things in closing about classical education. So this summer, I had the privilege of walking away, watch out. Our prefects, every summer we take our prefects on a boat. And I am really good at breaking boats. It is a specialty of mine. In fact, Spears was there, the Honorable Spears. He and I have a new business. We do propeller repair. Since he and I both now have post-secondary students that we need to fund, if you have a brass finished propeller on a boat, we know how to fix that. It only takes us 9.5 hours to replace the propeller. Anyway, when you're teaching a kid how to surf, and I had to learn how to surf this year, so I know about this. I know all about this. I know how to break boats. I know how to fix boats. I know how to surf in boats. It was such a good moment too. When I broke the boat, we still don't know how I broke the boat, but I was pulling in to the gas station. When you're pulling in a surf boat, it's a moment, right? So I kind of spun my hat around, I lowered the glasses a little bit. It's just me and Spears, the Honorable Spears, and I don't know what we hit. I really don't know what we hit. I'm kind of hoping that the owner of the boat's not here tonight, but he might be. They both might be. And we, like, Notorious B.I.G. was going. It was pretty loud. The gas station could hear it. The attendants knew, like, all right, we're going to need to fill that boat up when it all happened. But let me actually get to, so the next day we go skiing or surfing. And to surf, there's all these things you have to do. There's all these technical qualities. And this is going to be such a great metaphor here in 1 minute. And so there's this big screen on the Malibu thing. And so you have to preset your max speed with cruise control stuff at 10.6, and then you need that right gate thing, and then you need the surf gate thing to go down, and then it shoots the water to the left because I surf with whatever foot I surf with. I don't know. I think it's my left one. And then you've got to fill up the ballast with water, and there's all this technical stuff. But then when the moment happens, it's all in the feet. Spencer was there, and in the feet. So I had to actually focus at this time on the moment. And by the way, you need some Pearl Jam going because that's helpful and when you're surfing. And so you have to get, for me, which I'm lanky, awkward, boat breaker type. You got to lean heavy on the back, and then you just touch the front of that surfboard, and then I got it going, and it all somehow worked. And so there's all of the technical qualities of the thing, and then there's the life lived. This is my metaphor. So what you see tonight is cumulative, whether it was been on the screen or on the stage. If you take a child, dude, house lights down are weird because I can't see you. If you take a child and give them total phonetic and syntactical mastery by age 10, normal kids, normal car kids, and then layer on top of that full access to timeless theological principles by which to judge, graphical, mathematical awareness with which to model, poetic memory with which to artistically persuade, musical insight with which to distinguish, layer, and harmonize, natural science education with which to ground and make real, narrative mastery with which to humanize, contextualize ethics, and historically inform them so that a child can have a common sense of human culture and the inflection that comes from that. And then throw on top of that logic, validity, instruction, and fallacy, writing mastery, and improv structures for convincing rhetoric, then you might just have a person ready for high school. And these are just children. Final story. These are children. My wife and I had lots of people go with us to Colorado this year. Like separate cars came along. There were other cars pulling into the driveway. We're like, come on in, let's. And so we came back from something, and we pull in the driveway. And so there's 2 Academy graduates, 2 of which have been on rowing teams, our kids, and they date too. It's that whole thing. But there's rowing people that have graduated and ROTC and stuff. And then there's 2 Academy seniors. One's a guard on the basketball team, and one's the team manager and plays chess all night, every night. And we started live streaming last night. If you want to see, I can give you that URL. And so and what are they doing? They're painting watercolors on their, what do you call this? The easels, staring at the Arkansas River. So, and then the very next day, these are normal kids, right? These are kids that are going to ROTC, or kids that are going into post-secondary programs, trade schools. Some are going to university. Some are going to OBU. They're doing watercolor. The very next day, you know what they wanted to do? Hey, Dad, will you rent the side-by-side ATV? We're going to go 26 miles and fishtail all day long. And then they know Latin, and they're just kids. They like Thunder games. They do. So anyway, this is the nature of the education that we are submitting and hoping, suggesting to you tonight. So with that said, this year, 10 years of festivity, they're mentioning a book. It's called Festive School, if you're wondering where all the festive stuff is referenced. This year, it is time to double down on mission once again. The great subject of this year as we conclude, and the mission which lay behind it is nothing more than this, that the Christian faith and the one holy church is a rule of life that is not only fully inherited and available, but critical to kingdom mission. Mission statements are but aspirational platitudes if there's not a way of life to support it. We new parents, we existing parents are just inviting you into a way of life. Would you join us? The only thing that we've ever offered at the Academy is culture. So God bless you. Thank you for being with us. I actually was hoping, would you stand as I dismiss you, and would you sing with me in keeping with the festive school? I would like to sing the doxology. If you don't know, all of your students sing the doxology every day at lunchtime. And it's after their noonday prayer. This is on all 3 campuses. So I think that you'll know it, okay? You ready? Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Now may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and your minds in the knowledge and love of God and of His Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost be amongst you and remain with you this day and forevermore and throughout our 10 years of festivity. Amen.